Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today on Bones Collector, we're continuing our series where Lori and I are playing our way through our board gaming library. The reason why we're doing this, of course, is to show you up close and personal the mechanics and what the game looks like physically on the table. So we're going to play a couple of games, 2 or 3 games each week, and make a video about it and pass it on to you, and I hope you enjoy them. Hello everybody, how you doing, and welcome to Bones Collector, the board gaming channel that really has a focus on senior citizen board gaming. So I want to say that every once in a while so people that watch this channel don't go, well, you play games for old people. That's what we are, old people. So we do play a lot of games that were tailor-made for people with not a lot of time left on the planet. The game we just got done playing is Seasons. And Seasons is a game that came out quite a while ago. It came out in 2012, so it's 11 years old now. 2012. It was designed by Regis Bonessi, and 60-minute playtime, 2 to 4 players, and it's a card drafting, dice rolling, hand management, fighting card game, and there is some take that in it, and I'll explain that in a second, and the winning condition is most points. So let's talk about the physical production of the game. It kind of has a decent box, but it really doesn't matter because it has a wonderful insert that holds everything in place, so you don't really need a strong box, and that's pretty cool. All the dice go here, the cubes for player colors, and the tokens, the elemental tokens that go in here, and your player boards and your cards go here, and then the scoreboard and the elemental track here, or the seasons track, go on top. So that's pretty cool. I like that when a insert really works, and that works well. So this game has a deck of cards. It's really thick. I didn't look and see how many cards were in the game.
50, I think.
But you got...
Well, there's 100 because there's 2 of everything.
So there's 100 some cards?
I think so.
And you have these elemental tokens that are just regular thickness. They're fine. You have these big King of Tokyo sized dice, which is cool. And one of the best things about the game. The scoreboard and the season board are same thickness. You know, they're fine. And the player board, same thickness as those. The card stock is not linen, but I will say this, I bought this game used for 10 bucks, and the cards are in great shape, and they're black bordered cards, and usually they start to wear, but these look brand new, so yeah, I don't know. The box has some wear on it, like I say, but I got it for 10 bucks, I really don't care, and everything else is in wonderful condition. The rule book is clear, and you can understand how to play the game once you read that rule book. It does play in about 60 minutes, I think. Probably, I think every game will be a little different.
Yeah.
And,
depending on what number is on that last die.
Yeah.
I mean, that last game we played went fast.
Yeah. I mean,
we had a lot of threes.
I don't even think I played a card in the first year.
We went way too fast.
Yeah. You play 3 years, which are tracked by this black cube, and then the seasons are tracked by this other black cube. The rounds and the seasons. The way this game is played is you deal each player. I wouldn't play this with more than 2 players, first of all.
No.
Yeah, this is a 2-player game, I think. It just would take, I think it would get too chaotic with more than 2. But you deal each player 9 cards, and then you're going to pick one of those cards and draft them back and forth until you have completely drafted all the cards into one another's hands, and you start out the game with 9 cards. You're going to start with 3 in your hand, then you're going to put 3 under year 2 and 3 cards under year 3. And at the end of this first year, when this cube has gone all the way around, you'll get to pick up that second set of cards. When it goes all the way around and gets into the 3rd year, you'll get to pick up that 3rd set of cards. I guarantee you, you're going to want more cards than those 9. And you're going to get those by rolling these dice. Some of them have the icon for a card on them, and then you can draft that die and get a card, another card for your hand. So the way this works is, first player is going to roll the dice for whatever season you start out in, which is winter, and they will roll these dice, and you'll take turns drafting them. That player drafts one, this player drafts one, and the one that's left over has, every die face has dots on it. However many dots are on that one that's left over, that's how many spaces on this season track this cube is going to move. So if someone leaves behind a 3, which is the highest value of pips on there, you're going to move that 3 spaces. Well, I mean, if you do that 4 times, you're out of the first year after 4 turns.
So I think that's kind of what we did.
Yeah, it can go quick.
It was quick.
It can go really quick. So if you are doing well in this game, I suppose you'd want to end it quickly, but that, I don't know, may come back to bite you. I tried to slow the game down because I knew I was losing, and Lori beat me, by the way. He beat me to death, 160 something to 117. What happened?
Oh, the cat got on there, yeah.
Yeah, 117 to 165 or something. So she beat me pretty soundly, and that can happen in this game.
But you beat me by about that much last time.
I mean, that can happen in this game. It depends on cards that you get out of the deck, cards that you've drafted, and you have to know this game. We played it 3 times in a row just now, and you have to know this game so that when you're drafting cards at the beginning, you're taking cards that are going to score you points in different situations, cards that have maybe some good synergy together. There isn't a set collection thing going on, so because of that, we were able to take out all the take that cards we didn't like. And so that would be, I think there were 7 cards, 2 copies of each, so 14 cards out of this 100 and some cards in this deck we removed from the game. Didn't hurt it a bit.
Because you're never going to go through all those cards.
And some of them were at the end of the round, which is every time you roll these dice and finish that die roll and draft those dice and finish your actions, at the end of every round, you get a point and your opponent loses a point. So that's one of the take that cards. Well, what happens is every time you do that, I mean, somebody's got to remember it's more maintenance than it's worth. And if like I had 2 of those in my tableau, so every time the round went in, I said, hey, take away 2 of your points and give me 2 points. I felt like I was hounding, Lori to do that because she's not thinking about it. It's not her cards, so I got to remind her every time to give me. So I didn't like that. So we took those out, and the other one, you lost some cards or something. But anyways, we took those 7 cards out. There's 2 copies of each, so 14 cards removed from the deck. Didn't make a bit of difference, and the game is actually more fun.
And there's some take that still in there that's mild take that.
Very mild. Well, the one, it turns all your tokens to feathers.
Yeah.
And what was the one you lose 1 summoning on the summoning track, but you get to draw a card. So you couldn't really qualify that. So you lose something and gain something.
Yeah.
So that's really not that bad. We left those 2 in there because they weren't that bad.
There's probably a couple others we left in too.
And the one card that turns all the, like I used it, turned all of Lori's tokens, all her elemental tokens in her reserve to feathers.
Thank you.
Which is awesome. I needed that. I mean, she was killing me. So, yeah, that's the way that works. And that really is the game. Again, it's understanding the language. It's on these cards so that you can draft at the beginning of the game with the knowledge that you're doing something that a strategy that you have in your mind by what these cards do. So you have to know and understand what each of those cards do.
And there is a glossary in the rule book of every single card and what it does to make it clear.
Yeah, there's a glossary for every card, so that's kind of nice.
Which we need because I don't do well with cards, reading cards.
But if we had to play this game with the take that in it, I would sell it.
Yeah.
I only paid $10 for it. I wanted to try it. I saw it online, and I love these big dice. I mean, there's no doubt about it. These are fun. And when I saw those, I was like, yeah, let's give it a go. And the guy was selling it for $10. So I was like, $10. And if I didn't like it, I was just going to donate it.
Yeah.
So we bought the game, brought it home. I like it. Lo and behold, it's a fun little fighter where you're trying to become the archmage of Zidit or something.
Yeah.
Has a little paragraph of flavor text where it tells you about the game. And that's all I want. I don't want a big story-driven game. Board game designers aren't novelists, and they should stick with designing board games.
In the rule book, there's also sets of cards you can start out with. Because the first time you play this game, you're not going to know what cards to pick.
Yeah.
And it gives you an idea of some cards. It doesn't tell you how to group them, but it tells you here's a set of cards to start with.
Yeah, and I would suggest doing it that way. We did it that way the first time.
Because you don't know what you're doing the first time.
Well, I mean, we were about halfway through the game. I said, wait, let's start all over.
Yeah,
because I know how the game works now.
Yeah.
And I want to take out those take-thats and make the game fun for us. But we went ahead and finished it anyways. And then went ahead and set it back up and played it 2 more times. The only complaint I have? The only complaint I have about the game is this stupid... I hate when they do scoreboards like this. So you start out here, go to 6, and then to go to 7, you got to go all the way over to the beginning of this row. Then you go to 15, all the way over to this row. And I dislike that. But Lori's found one on Board Game Geek that goes in a path, and we're going to use that.
Yeah, like a snail.
Yeah.
I'll just print that off.
I don't like that when they do.
Well,
we have other games.
You're gaining and losing points.
Yeah.
So you have to keep thinking Which am I going forward or am I going backward? What am I doing?
Yeah, so
it's just hard for our old brains to do it that way.
Other than that, I really like this game. And again, you track your years on here on this season board, and you can see these white shapes on here. Come on, biscuits, don't get in that one. Okay, get out. I'll clear your box. There you go. Okay.
Now you can get in.
There you can get in your box. And then for each particular season you're in, one of the elementals will pay 3 crystals, which is the point values on this scoreboard, will pay 3 crystals, and then one elemental will pay 2 crystals, and one particular elemental, 2 of them, will pay 1. So depending on the season that you're in, and you want to turn it, some of those elementals, what do we call that?
Transmuting.
Yeah, transmuting.
And you have to have that on the die.
Yeah, and you will get crystal or points for transmuting. So that's pretty cool. I don't know, the game is simple, and I think...
Once you understand the cards are the hardest part of this game.
And once you realize how the game works, you get points for different things. I have a bunch of elementals left over on my player board. I got nothing for them because I didn't put a card in my tableau of the game.
And I had the card that said I got points for mine, and I only had 1.
So, I mean, this game will play differently every time you play it.
Yep.
Yes, just the nature of a game like this.
The 3 games we played were totally different, all of them.
So that's one of the good things about this. You have different things that these dice give you. When you see a die face like that with a circle around it, you can transmute and get points, but only the ones with the circle around them. If you were to select that die in your draft turn, then you would not be able to transmute and turn any of your elementals into points. And just different ways of scoring this game. It's fun. We use these do not come with the game. These are, we got these from...
They came with the game. Oh, we bought it used.
Oh, we bought it used for $10.
So they came with the game.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
They don't come with the game, but they came for us.
And the color matches the elemental, which I thought was pretty cool. And so that was kind of neat. But yeah, I mean, it's a
your
wonderful
player
game.
board has bonuses. That's the only other thing.
We
didn't use any of them, but there's bonuses.
Oh yeah, on your player board, I will show you that. You have some actions you can take, but it's going to cost you at the end of the game. So if you do one bonus action here, if you find yourself in a hole, that's the only time you'd want to use them if you were desperate, I think. And then the first time, -5 points if you do it twice, and you can do any of these more than, you can do it 4 times. 3 times, excuse me. 3 times, 1, 2, 3. So -5 for the first time, -12 the second time, -20 points in the game. So I don't think you'd do that. No. That's a lot of points, 20 points, -20 points. But you can do that, and that's on your player.
And that allows you to transmute if there isn't one on the die.
So you got these actions, tells you how many points you lose for doing one of those, or for how many you do of those. And then this is, I forget.
Summoning.
A summoning track, because you're summoning out of your hand, paying whatever cost is on that card, summoning it into your tableau here. And that's the track. So you start out the game on 0, so you have to get that cube on your player board up to at least 1 before you can even play 1 card. So you're keeping one eye on that, because you actually can play these pretty quickly. I mean, you get elementals pretty quickly off these dice and other card actions, but you got to stay ahead of the game by keeping this up so that you can play cards, because you don't want to get caught with this on 5 and you go to play a card, uh-oh, I already got 5 in my tableau. I can't play a card, dagnabbit, so that kind of thing. But very simple game, very fun. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Each time I played it, I enjoyed it a little more.
Yeah.
Because I understood it a little more.
Well, and I think once I saw the game played, I realized that to take that cards, to remove them, wasn't going to hurt anything in the game. And once I found that out, I was like, hey, let's play it now. Mm-hmm. Now I can fix this game. I don't know. I think there's expansion for it, isn't there?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you can't... Is there any room for any more cards in this thing? I think there is.
There's room for more cards.
So if there was an expansion with just some cards, that would be nice.
There usually isn't, though. They usually have to add something, more players or something weird. I don't know what the expansion, if there is one even. But
hey, guys, if you find this game for $10 like I did, it's worth your time, and it's a lot of fun. And we're going to keep it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we'll keep it.
After the first game, I would have told you no.
Yeah.
But now that we've played it a couple times,
it's pretty neat. You can get it out. Again, you can whip this game out in 35 minutes, or it'll take you an hour.
Yeah.
It depends on
that last
how
game,
this goes.
we rolled a lot of 3s, and it was moving 3 every turn, it seemed like.
And the players decide
quick.
how fast the game goes. You're going to decide what die you're going to leave behind. What other game was it that does that? Not Dinosaur Island, Duelosaur Island? I think it was Dinosaur Island. And maybe Dinosaur Island,
Island did the same thing. Yeah, whatever dice you didn't take, it activated something.
Yeah, activated something. So you leave a die behind. And
you had to decide what type to leave behind.
And there's 1, 2, and 3 pips on these dies. So if you want to slow down the game, take the die with 3 and leave the die with 1 pip on it behind. That way you only move 1 space on the seasons track. And that's how you slow the game down.
Multiple times this time, though, we rolled all 3s. I mean...
Yeah, that happens.
That last game went fast.
So, that is Seasons. Gosh, is there anything else I want to talk about? I said come down 2012. I told you all that. Yeah. So it's a very easy game, a fun dice chucker. Again, you have these dice for each season. Winter, spring, summer.
You use how many dice for how many players. So if there's more players, you add dice.
And fall, is that fall? Red? Must be. Okay. So, yeah, this is 3 dice for a 2-player game.
Yeah,
if you have more players, which I wouldn't suggest doing. But I mean, shoot.
You could do it. It's just going to extend the length of the game.
It will extend the length of the game. The game gets long as you add players for sure.
Yeah.
In this game, but if you want to play it 4-player, hey, what the heck, go for it.
But yeah, I would just suggest using those dummy decks and at least play it a little bit till you get a feel for what you're doing and which cards need to come out in which year.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never used these special bonuses on my player board.
I know. Well, we're always afraid of losing points.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking sometimes maybe it would have behooved you to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I might have, because I was pretty far behind, maybe something would have helped me.
She's going to help herself
She's waking up now. She slept really good while we played.
Yep.
And now she wants to get after the stuff.
She wants to eat the tokens.
Yeah. Okay, so we better sign off before she gets crazy and put this game away. Hey, I love every one of you. Thank you for watching The Old Bones Collector, and we appreciate you very much. Please take a second on your television, your phone, or your computer and give us a thumbs up on our video. We love hearing from you. Your comments about this video or whatever other videos of ours you watch, we try to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And what do you think of Seasons? Have you played it? And if you've played it, do you take those cards out like we do? And I think that it makes the game better. I don't know why board game designers think that people want to take that. And maybe they do it for variety.
Some people do.
Yeah,
like
but I just don't care for it. The way we play this game by removing those 7 cards, 2 copies of each, so 14 cards out of that deck, and the deck is still huge. You don't get anywhere near through probably a quarter of the deck, and it doesn't change the game whatsoever. Matter of fact, it makes it better, and for us, anyways, and we really enjoy that. But yeah, we'll see you the next time on the Bones Collector, and please keep on board gaming because the best hobby on the planet because of games like Seasons. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Hey everybody, welcome to Bones Collector. Today, Lori and I just finished playing Res Arcana by Tom Lehman. Res Arcana came out in 2019. It's 2 to 4 players. It's a hand management racing game, open card drafting, and 2-player takes you 45 minutes. Now this game has a 10-point trigger, and once that 10-point trigger has been hit, then you count up all your points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. We played this game at a convention taught to us by a friend of ours, Richard, and I had a funky feeling about the game. I didn't really understand it even after being taught the game. There's a lot of iconography in this game to understand, so it took us a while to grab hold of it. Now, the components in the game are absolutely fine. It's all cards and tokens, and the card stock is just kind of a regular shiny card stock, but it's fine. Now, we sleeved this game because you do hold these cards in your hand. You're going to have 8 cards in your deck. You'll have 3 cards in your hand at a time, but you're still holding them, so we went ahead and sleeved the game. This is a first player token. It's a nice thick token, and you get this resource tray, which hold all the essences, which are the resources. And there is Elan, that's the red, life, calm, death, and gold. So those are the resources, which I appreciate. I have enough games with wheat and stone and wood. I appreciate that we didn't use those in this game. But it's nice to have that little tray that comes with it, and of course, tray has a lid that goes on top to hold everything in place, and then everything goes in this insert, which is very nice. Everything fits right in there, and not only does the base game fit in there as you buy it, we have the first expansion called Lux et Tenebrae, and all of that fits in the box as well, even sleeved. So we have that sleeved in the box as well. Now I played the second expansion, the one with the pearls. I think it's called Pearl A Imperium or something like Imperium, I don't know. But that expansion I didn't care for as much as the first one. The first expansion fixed a few things in the game, and the second one kind of expanded the game a little bit. And I think the beauty of this game is that 10-point threshold. If you use the second expansion, it's a 13-point threshold, which isn't that much more. But again, I think the beauty of this game is its quickness. And so we really like that. Now, at the beginning of this game, you're simply going to be starting out with 8 cards in your deck. Now, they have suggestions for beginners, and they have the decks marked so that you can start out with even decks. But as you know the game, it's fun to draft the cards, and it tells you to do that in the instructions. The first expansion actually fixed a couple of issues with the base game. And the base game is fine, folks. If you go out there and buy the base Res Arcana, it's outstanding to play. But there were a couple of little tidbit things that this first expansion kind of fixed that weren't available in the base game. And it's not necessary, but it is pretty cool. And again, the point threshold still stays at 10. So it doesn't change anything, but it has a rule book in it, and you need to use the rule book from the expansion because it changes how many monument cards and stuff like that you have in the game, and kind of tightens the game up a little bit. So at the beginning of the game, you're going to draft those artifact cards. There's 3 different kinds of cards in the game: artifact cards, mages, and monuments. So the artifact cards are your deck and the ones you're going to play on your tableau. And then you'll have a mage, and you start out with, you deal 2 to each player, you pick one, put the other one back in the box. That's after you draft out your artifact deck. Now once you're drafting that artifacts deck, again, you have to have a knowledge of the game in order to do that. If you don't have that knowledge, by all means, use the beginning hands that they suggest, because it's a little more even that way. If you are a beginner in this game and you play someone that's played this game 20 times, they're going to kill you in this game, because again, it uses card text and card interaction that you have to be familiar with to be good at it. And it always helps to know that going in. So after you draft those cards, you're going to put 3 of them in your hand, and then you have different phases you're going to go through to make up the game. And one of the things I forgot to mention was, in this game you have these magic items that are going to be a community market, and also places of power that will be up here. And we've already, this game we just finished playing, so there's only 1 place of power left in the top. Now in the base game it says to put 5 of those out there, and the rules change and put 4 of them out there when you use the expansion, and that tightens the game up quite a bit. And the places of power, of course, have benefits and different actions on them that you're going to, point scoring actions that you're going to want to try to acquire. We were taught this game at a convention by a friend, and we played it, and it's one of those games where you play it one time and you're like, no, I really didn't understand what was going on. And so we struggled with it a little bit, but for that particular convention in the virtual flea market, there was a brand new copy for sale for $20 or $25, so I went ahead and bought that. And it sat here for quite a while, and we just got done playing it 5 times. We played the base game 3 times, once with the second expansion and once with the first expansion. And so I feel like I know the game quite well now, and I love it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I absolutely love this game. And these scrolls that you see in front here, that's part of this first expansion, and those give you a few opportunities, but they're one time. You have a new magic tile, and it's called, over here, Inscription, because I had that. And Inscription will let you claim a scroll. Now once you take this tile, you pay 1 resource, tap it, and you get to pick one of these scrolls and put it in your tableau, and then whenever you want to, you can use the power on that scroll and then just return it to the center of the table. So that's part of the second expansion. There is a magic item that's called Reanimate that lets you reanimate one of your cards or one of your places of power. In other words, once you tap it, you can untap it and then use it on your next turn. So that's pretty cool, because every time you pass, after the round is over with, you're going to take your magic item and say pass, and then you're going to trade your magic item in for another magic item and put that in your tableau area, and so that you can't dominate these magic items. You can, once you use one, you got to put it back, and you can get the same one the turn after that. So you're not gonna be able to use the same one 2 turns in a row, and that's pretty important, and makes the game a lot more fun. This game is absolutely a gas. I love playing it for so many reasons. I love the tight economy of this game. I love the language on the cards and how they interact with each other. By the way, the game also comes with player aids, which are absolutely wonderful, and familiarize yourself with the iconography, because there's a lot of it in this game. So you want to read these cards and understand what they do, because one of the things I didn't even notice is on this particular aid, where it has a picture of a card, it says any component, that icon for any component. There's actually 3 shades of brown on that picture of a card. I didn't even notice that. I just thought it was all one color. But you really have to look close. I wish they had put black lines separating those on that picture, because we didn't discover that till like, we had played this game a few times. So you need to go through and kind of read this stuff to make the game more fun for you, so you understand it. But all of that being said, I love this game. It will be in my Ultimate Top 100 for sure. Tom Lehman's a wonderful board game designer. And I believe right now this is the only game we have by him. I've played others, but this is the only one that we are going to keep. And it just falls right into our play style because of the quick time frame. Again, 2 players, plays in 45 minutes, very tight economy. I mean, the game we just finished playing, I had hit the threshold of 10 points, and Lori knew I was hitting that. And because she was counting my points. You're getting close. And but I didn't have, there is some cards and places of power that have victory check on them. So when you tap it, you can immediately do a victory check. And if you have 10 points and the other player only has 9, then you're going to win. That's just the way, victory check. But here's the thing, I didn't have one of those. So I'm trying to get as many points as I can, even though I knew I had the 10-point threshold. I wanted to keep going. And Lori knew I was close. And I bought a monument for 2 points, and the one I turned up was 3 points. So she bought that monument for 3 points and then passed first and took this first player token, which is a point, and that's huge, away from me. She got 4 points on that turn minimum. I didn't know if she got any other cards that she played or whatever, but she got 4 points. And I was sweating. I was thought, uh-oh. And I told her, I think you're going to beat me because of that. But when we counted it all up, I was able to win 13-12. And I think every game we've played of this has been 1 point or 2 points away. Even rarely will it be 2 points away. Generally, it's going to be one person winning by a point. And I like that. I like that. I like the way that feels, because it makes you think harder, because you know the game is going to be close and it's going to be quick. So you're really going to use your concentration and work very hard to make sure you're being most efficient with your turn. But I love the art on the cards. This Necromancer, I pick her just sometimes because she looks really evil. But that was my mage. And I really enjoy the art on these cards. It kind of takes you into that world. I don't know how anyone could really not like this game. It's fun, isn't it?
It's a lot of icons.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't do well with icons, you're going to struggle.
Right, and that's what
there
I
is
said.
a lot.
You have to go through these cards, understand what everything means, so that when you see them on the card, you get used to it.
Yeah,
and
you
then
do get used to it. It's way better after we played it multiple times.
And this is our 5th play, so we're very familiar with it now. And I think if we played it in a year, I would have to review these cards and kind of reintroduce all the icons to my brain. But I think it would be quick, and I appreciate this design, because I think this isn't for everybody. Do you think? I mean, and by that I mean, I think people are some of them are going to be turned off by the fact that you are doing a lot of iconography. It's
all
reading.
iconography.
I mean, you have dragons and demons in the game, and the dragons, and that's another thing. The dragons are interactive. And so some of the dragons will say, you pay 2 life, which is the green resources. All rivals pay 2 life, and if they can't, they have to pay this to ignore it. But there are also cards in there that give you a defense against that, and they're plentiful.
But we didn't have a single dragon in this game.
Yeah,
not one.
That was weird. I mean, and that happens because we do the drafting thing, and when you do that, you just deal 4 cards to each player, draft back and forth, and then deal 4 more cards to each player, draft back and forth. So you're only using 16 cards in the game of a deck. I didn't even look.
It'll say in here how many's in here. Well, there's 40 in there, and then 12, so 52.
52 pickup.
Yeah, if you count both game and expansion, it's 52.
So we added in the expansion, so it's 52 cards, and we're only using 16. So I had a demon. Did you have any demons?
No, I had creatures, but no demons.
I had a demon and a creature, and nobody had a dragon.
Yeah.
And some of the cards depend on a dragon. Like I played one that says destroy this card, and I can place a dragon at the cost minus 4 resources. So that would have been very inexpensive to play a dragon.
But we didn't have a dragon.
Yeah, I didn't have one. But the card was a point, so I went ahead and paid to play it because a point is huge. So I wanted to play that, and the dragons are interactive. So some people won't like that. But again, there's lots of opportunities to defend against that, and it's not that hurtful. So I don't want you to think that this is just an attacking game. It certainly is not. That's just a small part of it. But very fun, again, to weave your strategy together using these places of power, which you see here in front of us. And you buy those, and they have 3, like this has 3 different lines of opportunity on it, of actions that I can take on my turn.
And they all have in-game scoring.
And yes, so they all have in-game scoring, and that's very important. So you want to get those as soon as you possibly can. And they're expensive. They're more expensive than playing your cards that are in your hand.
And they're double-sided, so there's a lot to choose from of those, too.
And I do want to say, when you're drafting your cards, getting cards like this, the first phase of the round is gather. So you're gathering resources that you have on cards that you've played, or Place of Power, or whatever. And then, like, this is a very nice card. It gives you 1 of each. And so when you're drafting and you see that come into the draft, you're like, I'm grabbing that. Because you
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that gather. How many do I have? It's not even close.
Yeah. And it has a picture of a little hand.
1, 2, I have 3. Yeah. You had 5 and I had 3.
But I make sure I grab as many of those gather cards as I can, because that's the basis for everything that you do. You want to have resources to do it, to expand your game, buy places of power, monuments, and things that are going to help you throughout the game. But that's about it. I mean, this game is fun to play. I had a great time playing it. I'm glad that it is so compact. You know, I like that it's in that tight window of heavy thinking and over with quickly, because that fits our play style. Now we've got other things to do today. We're going to go do some other things.
Yep.
And we got in a wonderful play of this morning so that we could film it. And we've been playing it for the last 2 days, to be fair. But we absolutely love this game. I can highly recommend this. The fantasy world is wonderful. I love, things like the elemental spring, the dancing sword. I love this guy, the wind-up man. Lori knows whenever this comes up in the draft, I grab it.
He takes the wind-up man. I haven't gotten it yet.
And he takes 3 essences and then a gold, which is hard to give up because gold is a big deal in this game. But then whenever you tap this card, you put a certain color resource on there, any resource, and just leave it. You don't have to pay it to the bank, you just put one on there, and then the next round, when you turn it back up, 2 more of that one specific resource are going to go on this card. Now you can leave it there or take it, but I saved it up. I had a big payday.
He had a big pile on it.
I think I left it out there for maybe three rounds, and then I took all those resources off of this card and had a big payday. But then I got burned at the end of the game because I had 5 gold and 3 of the life on there that I never used. But things like that. And Lord had a card called a Philosopher's Stone, and it is super expensive. And we read someone complain that this was overpowering. And
whoever has it would win. Well, I lost by a point, so they're wrong.
They are wrong. That's a good point. They complained that whoever gets this card will win the game. Well, first of all, you have to get that played quickly. Yeah. Would you agree? And it's expensive to do so. So you got 2 of each. You got 2 of each essence.
Well, it was It was the 8th card of my 8-card deck,
Yeah.
so I couldn't play it quickly.
Yeah.
It didn't come out till late.
It has to come up in your deck because you don't get your whole deck.
Yeah.
You have to draw 3 at a time, and it costs 2 of each essence, and you're not going to have 2 of each essence until maybe at the earliest the second round. You might have 2 of each.
Yeah.
And get that played. But when you tap this, you pay 2 resources. Again, you have to pay those resources, and then however many equal resources you have. In other words, if you had 3 of the death.
I had
black,
7 blue,
7 blue.
when I turned that card.
Yeah. And then you can turn whatever equal resources you have in for gold. So she has 7 blue, she got 7 gold. And that's huge because then you can start buying monument cards.
And that's what got me the 3-point monument card. Yeah.
Or putting gold on your places of power to score points. So that's a pretty powerful card. So I don't know. If you have that and Wind Up Man, somebody might be in trouble. I don't know.
You get both of them, yeah.
But that's what I mean about knowing the game. You know, when you see that card come up, you're like, I want that.
And you could play the whole game and not have either one of those show up.
I mean, like I say, you're going to play with 16 artifact cards.
Yeah.
8, you're going to have 8, your opponent's going to have 8. So in drafting and knowing what cards to take is very important, and it's so wonderful to do that.
And
I don't know, it's just a lot of fun. I like that you can't hoard things in this game, can you? You just can't hoard things, and that's pretty cool, because magic items, you use them one time.
Because the magic item I was going to take, and I might have been able to beat you, you took.
That's the way this game works, man. And we're not the type of players, I didn't even look at what she's doing over here, because I really don't care.
No, I can't pay
I'm working
attention.
so hard in my mind to do my best that I really don't know what's going on at my opponent's tableau. So
Yeah, because you took a place of power I was saving up for, too. Right before I was going to buy it, he snagged my place of power.
it worked out great. It worked out great. So just a fun time. It's a fun time. And these are the types of games, I think, you know, and you look at us, we're senior citizens, these are the type of games that you're going to keep late in your life because they play quickly. And they make you think hard, fighting off that Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah, hopefully.
That may be coming for a lot of people. But this game is fabulous because of that short time frame, and just the complexity of it is perfect for us. We really enjoyed it. I can highly recommend Res Arcana from Tom Lehman. Again, it's been out since 4 years? Was my math terrible? Is that 4 years?
How long has it been out?
19, 20, about 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 4 years, and I don't know if I had this in my top 10 of 2019. I'm going to have to revisit
I'm sure you didn't, because we didn't own it then.
Yeah. We're going to start a video series and revisit 2015 on, I think, top 10s and redo them. But this would make my... I'd have to kick something out.
Yeah. I don't think we owned it in 19 when you did it. We bought it late.
Yeah. Oh, we just got this last year?
Oh, that's true. We did just get it. We just got that in July.
Yeah. And we played Nidavellir the same time we played this. And you try to play those games, and it's hard to... You can't... A lot of times you can't play
them once.
Yeah. This game I knew, because it's popular. So we played it once, and I just didn't have a good feel for it. Even with a teacher. So we just had to think about it, and like I say, at that very same convention, I picked up a copy. Or it might have been the next convention, I can't remember. But we picked up a copy because I wanted to revisit it.
Yeah, it was a later convention.
Yeah, it was another
And
convention.
he didn't sit with us and teach it. He just said, here's what you do.
Yeah,
You know, it
maybe
wasn't
that was
like
it, yeah.
he spent all day with us or anything.
Oh, anyways, yeah, I've talked long enough, you
Yeah.
guys. I love this game. I can highly recommend it. Again, if you like games that play in 45 minutes, if you like to think hard, if the iconography doesn't bother you, and again, you can fit all the expansions in the base box. This game is fabulous, and I like that 10-point threshold. I like it in other games, you know, Dune Imperium and, you know, games like that. I just like that because it puts a time limit on the game. You're thinking hard in a small period of time. And games like White Castle and Zapotec, they only give you a certain amount of turns.
Yep.
So I guess those are really games that I really enjoy. So, okay, yeah, enough. Tom Lehman's Res Arcana, I can highly recommend it. I love every one of you that watch this channel. Please take care of yourselves. Like us, because when you hit the like button, okay, let's explain those. Everybody says it, but those likes make your video recommended by YouTube. So the more you have of them, it creates a recommendation algorithm for the video. So if you would please like, we appreciate that so much. And please share our video if you have Instagram or Rick Rack or TikTok or whatever platform you have. Share that if you would. And we will see you the next time here on the Bones Collector. But keep on board gaming, I wanted to say that. keep on board gaming. It's the best hobby on the planet because of kitties that don't bother your components and because of great games like Res Arcana. So we'll see you. Bye-bye.